we are going to discuss about the various types of communication. So communication is basically of four types: verbal, non-verbal, written and visual. What is verbal communication? Using words of a language to express your ideas or message. You want to speak something. When you are speaking to somebody, whether you are speaking to that person face to face or over the phone call, or you are texting someone, all these come under verbal communication. Sorry, texting, I would take back my words. Texting doesn't come under verbal communication, it comes under written communication. So when you are speaking something using the language, words, vocabulary of a language, then that comes under verbal communication. For this you can use the language competency, vocabulary and general awareness of any of the languages which are available these days. Okay, any of the languages of the world. So it involves all these five basic things. Language competency, you should be very well versed with the language which you are speaking. Obviously, if you don't know Mandarin, Mandarin is a specific Chinese dialect. So suppose you don't know Mandarin, you cannot speak in Mandarin. You know English well, so you can speak in English. You can use its vocabulary, you can use its general awareness, you can use the basic domain knowledge of English, and finally you can use your listening skills, listening and analyzing skills to speak with the person. Second is non-verbal communication. As you can see from these emojis over here, what is non-verbal communication? When it comes to non-verbal communication, it means you are not using words anymore. You are using your body language, your facial expressions and various other factors which we will see in the subsequent videos to express your emotions, to express your idea, your feelings, the intended message with someone. No words are used, only body language is used, gestures are used, postures of body are used to communicate with people. Like over here, you can see when the face is like this, it shows you're happy. This shows kind of laughter, and it's like you're closing your eyes and you are showing all your teeth. This is again another form of a happy expression. This is being very happy, and it is an expression of laughter, extreme laughter, when your eyes even start watering. Again, kind of excited expression. Then again, these are all happy expressions which you can see, different forms of happy expressions, different forms of expressions with slight variations in them. Winking expression, hugging expression, then this is a slight smiling face you can see over here. You are not sure of something, a person with a lolling tongue and a wink, kind of in a hibernate mode, that is, you don't want to answer a question, you close your eyes and mouths to that person, sleeping, whining or complaining about something, mouth is zipped, surprised expression. So these all are different types of expressions. Emojis, now these days written communication is being used extensively. Whenever we speak or we chat with somebody through WhatsApp or any or on a social media platform, we make heavy use of these emojis or emoticons to express our expression, because through the phone nobody is able to, the person who is in front, the person with whom we are trying to converse with, that person can hardly see us. That is why in order to express our expressions we use these emojis. So this is non-verbal communication. Some components that make non-verbal communication effective. Now what are these? You can see some expressions here: happiness, anger, sadness, fear. So you can very well make out how our facial features change according to the emotion which we are feeling. Okay, so when we are happy, you would have this kind of curvature of your mouth which curves upside upwards, and when you are sad, it's kind of a downward curvature like this. Okay, when you are angry, your brows are raised, you can see it like this. So it is like you are trying to express your feelings through the different movements of the facial muscles. There are certain components which make this communication effective. They are proxemics, kinesics, olfactics, chronemics, haptics, chromatics, silence and pauses. First thing, proxemics, using distance and space to communicate. How space can be used to make ourselves comfortable. So normally in our social circle or in our family circle also, we use distance and space to give priority to certain people, to communicate differently with different people who fall under these different circles. For example, those whom we are not very familiar with, that is the general public. Normally it could be anybody, a person walking down the road whom we are not familiar with, any unknown person which we meet while commuting to certain places. So we normally like to keep a distance of 4 meters or more with them. Our social circle, people who live in our society, our neighbors, they could be our friends. With them we would like to maintain a distance of about 1 to 4 meters. So they are like, their proximity is a little more than those who are in the public zone. Next is within this 0.5 to 1 meter, it's a personal space, that is those people are a little bit personal to us. They could be our close friends, they could be our relatives, they could be our cousins, our parents, and not our parents come under the intimate zone, that is those who we try to keep very close to us. They could be our parents, they could be our very close real siblings, they could be our spouse or maybe lovers. Okay, very best friends. So these are the, this you can see how distance, as the distance goes on decreasing, the intimacy goes on increasing. So this is known as proxemics, using distance and space to communicate. We would communicate differently with public, those in the public zone, than those who are in the intimate zone. Next is kinesics, using body movements to communicate, gestures. So we'll see how kinesics works. Different body movement you can see over here. First we'll see this. I'm trying to use a sign language to show thin, fat, happiness, sadness, boredom. Over here also you can see how different body postures are used to specify different emotions which you are feeling. Tired, trying to relax, being sorry, being guilty. You can see how guilty, when a person is feeling guilty, the head droops down, and maybe the hands are also just beside each other, or they are folded backwards. And when a person is quite excited, this is how it looks like. So using body movements and gestures also we can show our emotions. Olfactics, a smell can trigger memories. Using smell to identify or recall certain things or to communicate. We remember what we smell longer than what we hear or see. Like a particular flower, when we try to smell that flower, it could trigger a certain memory. Like for example, one person or this woman over here, I could give you just this example, like she's smelling the flower and she is recalling the very first time when she was proposed. Or maybe somebody smells a rose and that person is able to recall that how some people, how her friends made her feel better when he or she was feeling low. And you can see these shoes, normally shoes are associated with a very bad smell, a bad odor which would make people run away. So this could be related to some kind of funny memory or a kind of an unpleasant memory. Okay, it could also be used as a warning system. Like for example, you are sitting in your study and you are studying something, and all of a sudden you smell a kind of a get a pungent smell. You are able to smell something pungent. So that could be maybe, and you quickly recognize that it is the smell of the petroleum gas, the LPG gas. And what would come to your mind at that moment? It would come to your mind that okay, maybe I have left the cylinder, maybe the cylinder is leaking, maybe the pipe is leaking, or I might have I might have switched on the knob of the gas stove, and I might have left it on by mistake. So the gas is leaking, continuously leaking, and the gas is spreading. This could be a sign of danger, that if somebody tries to light a match, the entire house could be blown off in a second. Okay, so this could lead to a disaster, a catastrophe. So that could be considered as a warning system also. So many a times it happens, you are sitting in a library or anywhere and you smell something bad, or you smell something which is kind of fire or smoke. So the thing which comes to your mind, maybe somebody is smoking, maybe there is a fire in the building. So this is the a kind of a warning system. It's an alarm for you to quickly evacuate the premises. Next is haptics. Now what are haptics? Using touch to communicate feelings and emotions. So here in these examples you can see this is a kind of a professional touch. That is, you met somebody on your way, or maybe this person is a colleague which you met and you both are shaking hands. That is to express you both agree on something, or you agree on a meeting which is going to be held next week, a kind of an agreement. Here it is a kind of a friendly touch, that is a kind of a touch of assurance. Okay, in this particular image what you can see over here, this touch is, it doesn't appear friendly because you can very well make out the expression of the woman here. She is not very comfortable with this touch. So this could be a kind of an unpleasant touch which the woman doesn't like, but this man, who could be her boss, is deliberately trying to bother this woman over here. And over here also you can see different expressions. So what can you see from this particular area which I have marked here? So this is an exercise for you. You have to write in your own words what can you see from here. Now please, it's my request again, my intention is not at all to present anything obscene to you. Let's take everything in a mature let's accept everything with a mature and wider perspective. Just an example, using this photograph over here, it is a kind of a love or affection between a mother and her daughter. So she's appearing as a daughter to me, so I would definitely try to use that expression. This could be a sign of love between an elderly couple. That is a kind of a feeling of togetherness. And of course these three images can refer to a feeling of intimacy, a feeling of love and affection between couples. So different types of touch can communicate different feelings and emotions. Next is chronemics. Using perfect timing to communicate. Controlling time. Staying within time limits considered mark of courtesy and professionalism. They say that timing is of utmost importance. Okay, you miss the timing and you miss your chance to communicate the words to someone. Suppose, for example, I'll give you the example. In a classroom setting, teacher is taking a class and all of a sudden she spots two students talking amongst themselves. They are so immersed in talking that they are not at all aware about what the teacher is teaching. All of a sudden the teacher asks the question to one of them. That student is like awestruck because the student is caught off guard, and he or she stands up and is totally clueless on what the teacher was teaching, and ultimately the result is the student gets the punishment. So what is the main cue over here? That the student did not catch up with the teacher, did not use the perfect timing, or didn't pay attention to the timing in order to take in whatever the teacher was teaching. He missed the timing and hence he was not able to answer on time. You are sitting in an examination hall, you're writing an exam and you're not able to finish your paper within the stipulated time. Again, you miss the timing. Timing is of utmost importance over here. Chromatics, expression through colors. Colors could be used to express different kinds of emotions. Like you can see over here, black is usually used as a color code for dressing up during any kind of mourning. Mourning is during funerals or anybody's death condolence meeting. White is, on the other hand, white is used for mourning by Japanese. Hindu brides prefer red, Christian brides prefer white. Pink is considered a symbol of love, green is considered a symbol of prosperity. Silence and pauses. Sometimes silence also can be used to communicate certain things. For example, sometimes it could work as raising the tension or inducing interest, increasing the interest of the person, or to show a kind of disagreement on something. That is, somebody gave you a kind of an offer and you are taking a lot of time to answer, you're showing silence. That means you are not interested in it. Or somebody said something, you want to say yes but you're not able to say, so you stay silent. That is taken up as a cue by someone that okay, this person readily agrees to what I am saying, so that can be considered as a yes. Okay, so this is how different non-verbal communication can take place using the different types of factors which we just saw. Next type of communication is visual communication, also known as graphic communication. We can use different visuals like colors, textures, contours, shapes, etc. in order to communicate things. Yes, so we are going to see what is visual communication, also known as graphic communication, making use of all these factors, that is colors, textures, contours, shapes, etc. in order to communicate what emotions, attitudes, experiences, lifestyles, concepts. So many different things can be used to communicate different ideas to people. You might have seen posters, kiosks, hoardings, etc. on the side of the road. Those are types of visual communication which are used to communicate certain things like advertising certain products or advertising people like politicians or any new show which is coming up on any channel. So all these are examples of visual communication. Some examples you can see here. I'll give you an example like I love New York. So instead of the word love, they have used the symbol, the heart symbol, to express that. Okay, so these all are examples of visual communication. Then you can see over here certain road signs which you normally see: stop, slow, bus stop, school bus stop ahead, caution. Okay, so these all are different sorts of communication which you might have seen on the side of the road. They are types of visual communication. Why? Because they are trying to convey an idea with the help of graphics. Again, many symbols which you can see over here. Like this symbol in particular refers to the danger symbol. Okay, this symbol, these symbols are associated with radioactive waste or radioactive elements nearby, which could be a symbol of danger too, biohazard. Okay, next is written communication. Now, any kind of communication done with the help of any sorts of resume or letters or emails, SMS, okay, chatting, they all are, they all come under written communication. Even the exams which you write, that is also a form of written communication.